Just
villa.
existing,
Is
I
it the
guess.
villas, the resort? I don't even know.
Doesn't
Every
matter.
show calls it a different thing. So,
Manor.
Oh, the Manor. You're right. Milf Manor.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back to Membriash.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Mitch.
And we're here to talk about Milf Manor. Can you do like a thing where it's like Milf Manor?
You're asking for me to that's budget, dude. That's time.
Milf Manor.
Okay, you can keep doing that all you want. So we are a little behind on Milf Manor, and we watched episode 1 and 2 with a reaction. Today we're going to be doing a recap of episodes 3 and 4 just to get caught up. Going forward, we'll do more reactions to 5, etc. We're hopping right in. That's what you get. Where's your energy?
I don't know.
All right, so if you remember from episodes 1 and 2, we don't like this show, but we're watching it anyway. And it makes me really uncomfortable. And I feel like that the elements that made me dislike the first couple episodes almost got amplified going forward.
Yeah, it gets worse. It didn't get better. It definitely got worse. No question.
But there's some redeeming moments, which we'll get into. Sort of.
I feel like redeeming implies that, it's good enough that something gets redeemed, and I just don't feel like that's what's happened here.
So if you remember at the end of episode 2, Crystal and Barbie really went at it.
No, you're gaslighting me right now. You're
I'm not gaslighting you. Girl, I don't give a damn stripper. Sit your punk ass down. Yeah.
My punk ass?
Yeah.
They were Barbie threw a glass at the floor, and they were cussing each other out, and Barbie thinks that Crystal's obsessed with her being a stripper, and Crystal just really doesn't like Barbie.
Basically, they're both just, trying to be HBIC.
Yeah.
And,
really
neither of them
HBIC
really
title.
is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're just fighting. They're jealous.
Barbie moves out of her shared bedroom with Crystal.
Oh my god, I feel like how am I gonna do this?
What's going on? What's going on?
Will you please help me pack? Just grab all my put it in the other room.
And just moves to a different room, basically.
I just can't get over how childish all of this is.
Yeah.
Because literally you have grown women who get in a fight at a bar that's so bad that
I'm not gonna live with you
right,
anymore.
they get back and they're like, I can't sleep next to you, I'm so mad. I mean, maybe I get it actually. I don't know.
That is what happens.
Do you know the other thing of
What?
it? Is it's Barbie that moves out of the room with Crystal, but Barbie is the one that throws the glass, making it uncomfortable and adding a physical element that didn't need to be there. And yet Barbie is the one that's I don't feel comfortable. And I'm like, if anybody should not feel comfortable, I would think it'd be Crystal, the one that got the glass thrown in their direction.
But as Crystal says, she's very used to fighting.
Growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up in, I could not literally walk to school without fighting all the time. I had to because girls were jealous.
Yeah, I think she
I don't
grew
even know
up
what that
in
means.
she grew up in a rough environment because she and
St. Louis,
Stacy
for one,
bonded over that.
Yeah, right.
And so Crystal is this is no big deal. Basically for Crystal, this is child's play. She's
if it's not a physical
whatever.
altercation, she's not really phased, probably is what it boils down to.
The show continues being just overall creepy as some of the women talk about their relationships with the younger men in the household. And we get more of this conversation around people being attracted because
he seems more mature than his age, you know?
Very mature, yeah.
He is.
Very mature, yeah.
Which is kind of a weird thing to say. So they're dating people that are younger, right? And arguably they like younger men.
Right.
They're specifically, pretty much all these women I think have basically stated that at this point. But yet what they're attracted to is their maturity for their age. So if you're looking for maturity, you could date somebody who is more mature. I don't know. It's just a weird thing to point that out as a thing.
it feels like a thinly veiled attempt to be this is normal. He's only 24, but I swear he's mature for his age.
He seems older.
Right.
He seems older. He's not.
That's
and actually, none of them really do.
Literally what it feels like.
They all seem like they're 24. Yeah.
And they're all young enough to be every single one of these women's children.
Some of them are grandchildren, honestly.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. This show is a lot. It's not for the faint of heart.
It's almost possible that some of these people could be grandchildren. So that's fun.
We also see Jamie, who really haven't seen a lot.
This gets weird. The Jamie thing gets weird.
The Jamie storyline does get weird, and so they start to introduce the Jamie storyline with Jamie telling someone else.
Christina, I think.
Christina,
yeah. Who's a real good friend.
Right, great friend. So Jamie's telling Christina that
we're all here for the same reason. However,
my reasons are a bit different.
But she, like, can't discuss it with anyone.
Confusing.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Right?
It gets clarified eventually.
It does.
But it sits in the back burner for a while.
Yeah, so
keep
that's
that in
kinda,
mind.
that's kind of going on
It's a
in
nugget for
the
y'all.
background. And then that gets completely overshadowed by a new woman entering the villa.
But this new woman is actually an old woman. And I don't mean just by her age. She is from the first season of Milf Manor. A new MILF.
I'm Kelly. You might remember me from season 1.
It's Kelly. Everybody,
Kelly.
Kelly's here.
We didn't watch the first season, so it didn't really mean
Right.
anything to us.
I saw a couple of people on YouTube do like recap things of the first season, so I vaguely understand who Kelly is, and I don't think anyone was excited. Most people actually had no clue who she was.
Yeah. Everybody except for Barbie had no clue who she was.
And Barbie hates her.
Yeah.
Like immediately Barbie is like,
You know, I'm not a fan of Kelly because I saw her experience on season 1. She's a mean girl. She's a big personality, but I think she's going to learn the hard way that she's not the queen bee.
And actually, Barbie, weirdly, because of like her being really apprehensive around Kelly and a couple other things, like grew on me a little bit these couple episodes. Not massively, but like a little bit.
slightly.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
better than when she was throwing things.
It's also better than Christina and Jamie and all the other stuff.
I can't even remember
out.
these people's names, to be honest with you. Like, I took notes while we were watching, and that's the only reason that I remember anyone's name.
Yeah.
So Kelly comes in and starts, like, introducing herself to people, but she kind of comes in with this energy, like, she's like, is my son here?
Is my son here?
No.
Yeah.
Knowing full well her son is not there, and she's just hoping that the people then recognize her and treat her as a celebrity.
Nobody does. Nobody does. And then she meets Joey, and she goes,
Good, I'm Kelly.
I'm Joey. Nice to meet you.
You're Joey? That's my son's name.
Nice to meet
Oh my
you.
God.
which is fun.
So creepy.
That's fun.
So creepy. It's all
It gets
so
worse.
Freaking creepy, dude.
It gets worse specifically with Joey.
It's so creepy. So, when it does, oh god, it gets so much worse. Why does it get worse? So Kelly, as like a prize for coming into the
Just
villa,
existing,
is it
I
the
guess.
villa, is the resort? I don't even
know. It
know.
doesn't
Every
matter. Call it
show
whatever you
calls
want.
it a different thing. So,
Manor.
Oh, the manor. You're right, Milf Manor. So Kelly, for coming into the manor, gets a prize, which is that she gets a date with whatever father-son duo she chooses. And once again, consent is limited to non-existent in this process.
Inconsequential.
Right?
Because she actually ends up picking Anthony and Joey.
After going through pretty much everyone, and virtually none of the father-son duos want to go on a date. At one point, she approaches Miles and his dad, Stacy, who are in the kitchen, and she starts, like, verbally accosting Miles.
Thanks. Are you
Little
talking
bit.
to people? Huh? Are you? Are you? Are you? Are you? I'm so annoyed.
For just, like, not wanting to talk to her. Like, Miles is visibly uncomfortable
Oh,
because
yeah.
he has this bad relationship with his dad. He's not interested in Kelly, and you can tell that he's not interested in
Yeah,
Kelly.
I felt so bad for
and
Miles.
she's in his face.
It's so disrespectful.
Yes.
Honestly.
And weird. She keeps calling him shy, telling him he has to, like, open up and get out of his shell.
Yeah.
And the annoying thing to me is she has absolutely no idea what's going on for him. Number one, he could just
She
not
doesn't
like
even
you.
care. She doesn't even care.
No,
though.
she doesn't.
Yeah.
Because everyone has to be ready to serve her every need at every moment, regardless of what they're going through.
This show is so bad.
And Miles doesn't want the date because Miles doesn't want to be around his dad at this point. And he definitely doesn't want to go on a date with some random lady and his dad.
Yeah.
Like, that's the last thing that he wants.
That was so much. And then his dad like shades him.
Oh, that's so
He's
cute.
very shy. Ain't no little shy. Yeah, he's not gonna be the talkative one in the room. I promise you that.
After Miles had said
Yeah.
no, like, that's not, I'm not shy, which
Yeah.
I doubt that he is. He's closed off because the situation that the show has put him in is messed up.
He's like a vegan weightlifting influencer or whatever. He's like all over the internet at this point. And,
Right.
I mean,
He's not shy.
He's not shy.
And I
Not
think
that-
to
not that I know of.
mischaracterize the fact that the show is putting him in a, frankly, yet another traumatizing scenario
Yeah.
is really frustrating to
Yeah.
watch people like not understand that at
Yeah.
all. And then behind the scenes, the rest of the house is talking about the situation with Miles because a couple of the guys have obviously
Oh,
like gotten to
yeah.
know him.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting outside the older women and the younger guys talking about how sad it is and what Miles is going through.
That's like my what?
Yeah.
You know?
But
You're in here trying to get to know women,
Right.
but at the same time, you're also trying to get to know your dad.
And it appears, based on the edit, that no one actually goes and
Checks
says
in on him.
anything
Yeah.
to Miles,
Yeah.
who is like dead inside.
And they just sit there.
Right, they just
drinking,
sit there.
hanging out.
They're like, nah, whatever.
Yeah. No like check-in or whatever. I don't know.
No check-in
Maybe it happened
at
off
all.
screen or whatever, but it just like you'll leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
It was frustrating watching it because you have this person that, and maybe someone did approach him and he doesn't want to talk about it, whatever, but it just, the least that you could do, anyone in the house, the least they could do is just walk up and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you want to talk about anything? Are you doing all right? You know what I mean?
That's just like a basic human thing. You don't even need to be somebody's
Right.
friend to check in on that,
Yeah.
honestly.
And he's clearly, it's frustrating because the show at this point has set up two like very traumatizing scenarios. And like, I'm not using that word lightly. They've taken Miles and then brought his dad, Stacy, on the show, and they don't speak. And clearly this is like messed up
Yeah.
for Miles. Like, it's not a small thing that they're putting him through. And I highly doubt that he thought when he was signing up for this, that he was signing up for the level of emotional trauma that he was going to have to
Yeah.
relive on national television. And then the weird,
And Kelly getting all aggro on him and stuff.
yeah,
All the
Kelly
weird
attacking
compromising
him.
situations, being
Right.
objectified by a bunch of people that don't give a crap about you.
Right.
It's the show. The show is like teasing us
Yeah.
with the, I don't know what word I could say instead of whatever, with the uncomfortability of everything, and it's just like, why, honestly.
Do you know what
But
Wendigoon uses a term that we'll have to search it and make sure there's nothing weird with it, but he calls it kithing. That's what he calls it.
Okay.
So to describe the scenario where the father and the son are both going on a date with someone that they are both sexually attracted to and then being put in incredibly uncomfortable sexually charged experiences,
yeah, 'cause-
we'll just call that kithing.
So the date though ends up being tantric yoga for 3, where one person has 2 partners and then they simulate sexual positions. It's fun.
And went to another place. You know, I was kind of...
We were like doing a yoga class, no?
Yeah, regular yoga
That's
class.
how we figured. Good thing I can't bend that far.
This entire date's a little mentally challenging.
I don't know who this lady is that's okay giving this tantric yoga session.
I would love for you to take your jacket off. Please take your shoes off, too.
All right. So
you.
what are we doing?
Has anyone done tantric yoga?
They're gonna be people.
She seems off. Can
Yeah.
we just say that the
Oh, like
yoga
uncomfortable?
teacher? No,
like
the
weird.
yoga teacher seems weird. Okay,
Yeah.
and she immediately talks about it like she has to have been briefed. Someone has to have
Mm-hmm.
told her what the scenario is, and she opens it up by saying that they're going to do the tantric yoga with everyone's chosen sexual partners, knowing that none
Yeah.
of these people are actually chosen sexual partners.
They're
and
the
she
first
must
time
know.
they're meeting. It's
She-
like within a day of meeting for the first time.
Right. And she must know that 2 of these people are like father and son.
I don't know.
I feel like the show has to have told her.
Yeah, I don't know.
She had this weird air about her where it's like she knew, but then was kind of like, I don't know. It was weird. It's weird. The show is weird. They full on went into like the kithing territory with no, like, I did not consent to watching that,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
It was so uncomfortable.
And then, unsurprisingly, Joey is traumatized by the experience, which honestly is sad. I can't even make a joke about it because the way he came back to the house.
Okay, do tell.
Guys, that was one of the worst nights of my life.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Oh, no, Joey.
He looked uncomfortable.
Yes, he did.
And he told everybody there how uncomfortable he was. He
Yes.
sat down next to a bunch of the guys and the older women that he already knew, and he was like,
That was just like so up close and personal and oily with my father and her, and like, no, we were at a yoga studio.
Oh, we
And
thought
we
you
were
were at a
doing
restaurant.
and we were doing like sex yoga.
this just happened. He's like anxious. He's not the way we've seen him the entire show.
No.
It was clearly effective, or it clearly affected him.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad for him in that point.
I did too. It
Yeah.
was literally like, I think he called it one of the worst nights of his life.
Of his entire life.
Yeah.
And this show did this to him on purpose for no reason at all.
absolutely.
Honestly, it's so grotesque.
And he literally, he describes it as traumatic, Joey
Yeah.
does, and then says that when people are asking questions about it, he's like, I honestly had to block out what was happening. in order to just get through it.
Yeah, and he kept on talking about through it, yeah, where he was just basically pretending he wasn't there.
I kind of just mentally took myself out of like this actual situation and went to another place. You know, I was kind of...
Right.
Which is actually what a lot of people that survive trauma talk about. Yeah. It's not, I don't think it's a joke. Like, this isn't a joke. It's not funny.
No.
Like, he experienced real trauma and described it as such on the show.
It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I seriously have to question this show anyway, but some of the choices that they've made this season are so completely out of control and disgusting.
Well, they did it last season too, though.
Sure.
They had them, like, rope each other.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know why this show
Where's the bar?
gets off on
Who are these
familial
producers?
relations.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
yeah.
And yet the show keeps
trucking along.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
So now we've got Miles and Joey traumatized at this point.
Right.
So Christina shows her character by completely abandoning Joey when he comes in and tells everybody that he's emotionally traumatized from the situation that he just went on against his will, basically. And then instead of checking in with him, she says, "Well, he didn't talk to me, so I guess we're done."
You know, I'm just gonna ignore Joey. That sounds kind of childish, right? Tit for tat, but...
Which shows you the level of maturity of the women that they've chosen for this show, because what in the world?
He literally sat down and said, "I'm traumatized."
Yes.
And she didn't even say, "Are you okay?" They were basically dating at that point.
Yeah.
They were considering each other like their kind of main squeeze on the show.
Yeah.
Christina cuts him off cold.
Yeah.
Hard. And it's...
messed up.
It's very much what happens as you see the rest of the episode. That's fun. That just like makes me so mad. I'm mad. This is just like talking about it is making me mad. We watched this and we didn't even talk, I don't think.
No.
We were just like, I mean, we did, but we were like processing.
Yeah, it's hard to watch this show because you like don't realize how much you're gonna have to sit and think about the horrors that you've witnessed.
Yeah, dude.
You know, it's a lot.
It's not like regular reality TV.
No,
honestly.
it's not.
And you watch crazy horror movies all the time where people get like butchered and murdered and tortured, and it's bad.
Yeah.
And that doesn't faze you.
No, but this does.
This does.
Yeah.
This is also real life.
Yeah, this is real life.
Yeah.
This is scary. So then Christina involves herself in, well, it doesn't involve herself, but gets involved in another piece of drama.
Yeah.
Which is that she is friends with Jamie, and Jamie has decided that now she's going to tell everyone her secret. Not everyone. She's going to tell Christina her secret.
Specifically, she says,
I don't really want to talk about it with everyone. Right. But we've had our connection, so I feel like I could trust you with talking about this.
She all but says, "Don't tell anybody this," right?
She does say,
she says, "Don't tell anyone." Okay,
Please don't tell anyone.
Are you gonna share this? I'm not gonna ever share it with anyone. I would never speak on that. Like,
right. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not that person for sure.
And at this point,
Christina's very trustworthy.
It's Jamie's perspective that she's going to tell Christina because she needs to get it off her chest. It's clearly weighing on her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going to go tell the person that she's been dating. And Jamie's big secret is that, drumroll,
I have a boyfriend outside of this situation.
Like every dating show at this point, honestly.
Why? Why, Jamie? Why did you come on this show? This show is
Yeah.
embarrassing. Why did you do this to yourself? You have a boyfriend at home.
What it sounded like to me, I'm going to give her the biggest benefit of the doubt by saying this.
Okay.
Is it sounded like to me that it was a very young, quote unquote, relationship that just started up right as she was getting on the show. Like you get the announcement, hey, we've selected you.
Yeah.
Okay. She starts seeing this guy. Maybe she goes on a date or two and then she's like, oh no, this is kind of serious. That's what she made it seem like. And that's possibly what happened.
I need a break. Let's watch ads.
So that would be the benefit of the doubt mode.
Here's my problem, even with that, though,
Yeah.
is that she keeps saying, like, I'm here for different reasons. Your reason clearly then is not to date any of these people.
It's just to be on
So your
TV?
reason is, like...
Fame?
Fame-ish? I don't think this makes anyone famous, by the way.
In a way, it does. People talk about it.
Yes. But, like, the individual people, no one's gonna, like, recognize you. I don't think you're really gonna have that. Are you doing this for Instagram followers? Like, it's very confusing why Jamie made the choice to still attend, even though she is in, like, a full-blown relationship at home and has no intention, really, of, like, being in a relationship with any of these people.
And she's basically telling Christina, I don't want to date anybody here. I have somebody at home that I would rather be with.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is the producers don't seem to care at all. And the people just keep filming. There's no, like, oh, you're not supposed to be here.
Well, they probably love it. It's drama. It's extra drama for them.
Yeah. So
whatever.
the TV show doesn't give a
Right.
Some other people do, though.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's after...
Well, so yeah. Okay, Christina hears what Jamie has told her. So Christina's response to Jamie's boyfriend confession is to immediately tell her that she would never, under any circumstances, share that information with anyone, and that obviously Jamie's secret is safe with Christina.
Yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So
Christina immediately tells Lynette.
Immediately.
I'm not gonna betray someone. She just confided in me, but I started feeling, awkward, and I wanted advice. Because what do I do with this information?
Immediately. Like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Max.
While saying, as she's doing it, that she wouldn't... like when people tell you that they're like, I would never steal while they're stealing a candy bar.
Yeah.
Or I would never, harm somebody while they're harming people.
Yeah.
Well, she does this. She says...
But I'm just not going to be the person to tell someone. Yeah.
Right.
And then she's snitching on Christina on Jamie in that exact moment. It's so weird.
I don't even feel like there would have been a problem if Christina hadn't fully promised she wasn't going to say anything.
And then told people that she wasn't snitching. While she's snitching.
I think if she was just I feel like people need to know. I'm sorry. I'm not keeping this secret.
Yeah.
This affects all of us. I think it would have been fine. But her intensity around how much she was going to keep it secret. And then her immediacy in finding it felt like the first person she could find. I don't even feel like...
I don't think it was special that it was Lynette.
No.
She was just there.
I don't even feel like Christina and Lynette are friends. She immediately just told her. And then, of course, Lynette
blows the whole thing up. Because she has no expectation of fidelity or silence or whatever.
No, so. Lynette is just mad.
Lynette's mad.
So she tells two of the most outspoken, dramatic people she can find, which is Barbie and Kelly.
What would you say if one of the women here misrepresented themselves, has a boyfriend, and came all the way down here and masqueraded as a single person looking for love?
Yeah, so Barbie and Kelly are on the same side for this one, finally.
Yeah, they are actually.
Yeah.
They hated each other before, but they both agree that they hate Jamie more than they hate each other.
So episode ends as they rush Anthony and Jamie as they're sitting on off to the side next to the edge of the forest or something, in one of those egg chairs talking. Yes. And they're just chatting really calmly, and Kelly comes in hard.
It's a yes or no. Do you have a boyfriend? I don't. I haven't had one for... Why are you looking at him?
So hard.
That's where the cliffhanger is.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute mess.
It really...
It's like the women are rabid.
Well, it felt like... When I was watching it, it felt like zombies, coming down the hill towards them. It was really weird, and they looked afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird situation.
Yeah.
So we're on to episode 4.
Wherein we open with additional information around the confrontation. Jamie is understandably overwhelmed by the women approaching her in this way.
Kelly just keeps on asking her something else. She's like, what's going on? Are you dating someone? Are you dating someone? And Jamie basically stands up and she doesn't quite answer the question. She says,
so I really don't like when people are in my face. So take a step back.
Which is fair. It was aggressive.
Kelly came in so hard. It
was
crazy.
So aggressive.
Yeah.
And then Lynette, poor Christina is upset. Christina's crying because she is upset that she told on Jamie to Lynette, and Lynette went and told everybody, and now Jamie's getting ganged up on, and Christina is like,
because nobody should gang up on anybody.
No, we weren't ganging up.
And at this point, then we get words of wisdom from Lynette, with her basically saying that
what we allowed her to do is live her truth.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We liberated her.
The ganging up on Jamie is not actually ganging up on Jamie.
It's helping her.
Yeah. It's allowing her to live her truth.
Yeah. Which is the best rebrand of just coming at somebody I've ever heard. I'll try that one next time.
It's amazing how people can twist things into whatever they want it to be to avoid culpability.
Yeah.
Because
she's not hurting, she's helping.
Right.
Yeah.
They could have waited, right? They could have waited. They could have had one person approach her and be like, hey, I think this is messed up. What are you going to do about it? Are you thinking you're going to leave? I don't think it's really fair to us or to the guys that you're here.
They come up and they say, leave.
Yeah.
Leave now. Go. You're not allowed here. Meanwhile, again, the producers have said nothing. It's these 3 women come up and take it upon themselves to kick out Jamie. Granted, it is weird that she's even there.
It's
right? I get
messed up. She shouldn't have come on with a boyfriend.
The way that they come at her makes me more in her camp. And honestly, Anthony thinks the same thing. Because Anthony actually stands up for Jamie at one point.
You left me at the card game to talk to her, so well done.
Well, you know what? I was being a gentleman. She wanted to talk to me.
You weren't being a gentleman to me. Well done.
Causes a huge rift between him and Kelly, because at that point it seems like him and Kelly might date or kind of get along or whatever, and Kelly writes him off because he's like, hey, give Jamie a second. It doesn't matter if she came in here, whatever. Just like stop attacking her, basically. And they don't like that because they're helping her. They're not attacking Anthony. It's so, oh man, like
really
seeing these people just like behave that way is so. It's this whole show.
Yeah.
Seeing people behave this way, it's the basest human, the worst base human I've ever seen.
Yeah. And there's no, like, Jamie, I think, actually does have a pretty compelling, like, she shouldn't be there, but at the same time, it is kind of weird. You sign up for a show like this and then you meet someone, it sounds like it was kind of organic and she didn't really know what to do about it. You can tell she's not really like a person comfortable with lying to everyone because the way that she's moving in the house, like she's not
flirting with people excessively. And she repeatedly said before she told somebody that she felt uncomfortable and she wanted to say something.
Yeah, absolutely.
She wanted to come out with it.
It's just like, how do you do that knowing that all these women are going to like pile on you the minute that you say something?
As they did.
Which is what happened.
She knew exactly what would happen because she's used to being around these types of people probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, the next day, I guess, Stacy finally takes Miles to the side to have a heart-to-heart about their relationship.
But until you address it, it's going to keep lingering back.
Well, this is different.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't expect this.
And I don't know what, like, the impetus, I don't remember if they told us what the impetus was for him to do this, but it's essentially...
I think it was possibly just the fact that he could tell stuff was bad and he's there and he wanted to finally broach the subject.
And it makes sense for Stacy to approach him because if we're, like, understanding the situation correctly, Miles had already tried, like, outside of the show to reach out to Stacy to repair their relationship, and he was the one that didn't want to. Also, Miles had attempted.
I firmly believe that in a general rule of thumb, unless a child says don't talk to me, I think it's kind of the parent's duty to try and repair a relationship if they have a culpability in injuring it. Yes. Honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Stacy approaches it too.
Yeah,
it's actually,
honestly.
I didn't think it was going to go as good as it went.
I was in my mind by this point, like Stacy is a asshole. That guy, poor Miles. I still feel bad for Miles.
Yeah.
But Stacy kind of comes at it pretty okay.
He does. He basically just takes accountability, says...
But I will tell you this, I will do better now.
The conversation, to be honest, is just like beyond the scope of what should be in a show like this.
I know, dude. Well, I feel like it's like the show's weird way of saying, like, look, we're doing good for people. It's their one good deed for the season. Let's be real about that.
It's still messed up. I don't know that, like... If I think about what you would expect to walk into the show, and this is, I guess, for Miles and for Stacy for that matter, neither of them knew that the other person was going to be there.
Over Stacy doing that too.
They did.
Yeah.
And then they have this incredibly emotional conversation where at least Miles is crying.
I think Miles cries. Maybe Stacy, I'm not sure.
Stacy might cry as well. I mean, they're really having like an emotional conversation that I don't think was meant for everyone to see.
I love you too.
Love you, man.
Yeah, cameras right in the face. So like the producers don't even know it's going to go well too. The producers probably have every expectation if they have this information that it's going to go really poorly.
Yeah.
And they're basically on there for drama, like fight with your adult son or your father. Like I'm glad that they went the route they did, you know.
Yeah.
But like they messed up Miles, and Stacy had the maturity to handle it, I guess. But it's still weird
because the narrative around Stacy, it just makes me worried that the follow through outside of the show is maybe not going to be so great.
And I hope it was.
I hope it was too.
You know, because that's exactly the fear I have. Is he just saying this for the camera to like not lose face and oh, I'm a good father, I'm here for you, son. Has he said this before and not been there?
Exactly.
I'm sure he has. But at the same time, like the reaction that Miles gives, it makes it feel really real.
It
and makes me think that Miles feels like this is a sort of different situation that he's had before where he actually feels like there might be something out of it. In fact, he says that to the camera. He's basically like he's hopeful.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see that.
And I hope for him too, because Miles seems like a very like kind person, and it just really, really sucks.
He seems like one of the nicest people in the house.
Yeah, that he got like shoved into this kind of an environment just really, really, really sucks.
Yeah.
And it like makes me a little emotional thinking about it because it's just messed up, honestly.
Yeah.
Like what they did to him, what the show did to him is like not, to me, is just like unforgivable. I can't believe they did this.
I'm mad about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess there's a competition every single episode.
Yeah. They're
for some reason.
boring though.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, they're not even the highlights of the episodes. Yeah.
No. basically everybody's competing one-on-one. The loser gets their secret exposed.
Oh, what was it? There was a mud pit where they had to like, fight against each other in two separate directions, attached at a cord, and the first person to grab a flag won.
Right.
And the person that lost had to reveal their secret.
And these, I guess, were secrets that they gave to production, like when they started
when
the
they signed
show
up.
or something.
Yeah.
But they're all really lame. Like one of them is like,
Yeah.
I'm a member of the Mile High Club. And I'm like, okay. I don't care.
You had sex in a stinky toilet. Okay.
But she said it was on a private jet.
Oh, okay.
Which, like, if you're going to be a member of the Mile High Club, that
That's
makes
the way
the
to do
most
it.
sense to me, is a private jet. And then, so Kristen and Anthony are the two fastest people at the challenge.
Christina and Anthony. Each of you will get a special date here at the mansion tonight.
So they each get to pick somebody to go on a date with.
And this is the first time Joey gets an indication that Christina's not into him anymore.
Yeah, because he doesn't even know, because he's dealing with the trauma from the weird three-way tantric yoga thing
from the
that he had to
episode
do.
before.
With his dad.
And Christina never said, I'm not interested anymore, but here
No.
she just picks somebody else.
Yeah.
She picks
No, not Chris. Sam. She picks
Sam, whose dad is Darren.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
I definitely would like to go out on the date with Christina, but I didn't know she was attracted to Sam. So I'm convinced that we're no longer a thing.
Sam ends up shading Joey in the process, being like, oh, I guess I'm just more mature, which isn't at all what happened.
I think Christina picked me over Joey because there's a big difference in maturity level between us two.
Again, what is the obsession with, like, there's an age gap here. So what is the obsession with, like, making it seem like you're more mature and that's why she picked you? Or do you know what I mean?
It's these excuses they give themselves. These like weird, like,
Yeah.
Oh no, but I'm a mature 24-year-old.
That's why it's okay for me.
Yeah.
Sam is also the one that's like into older women. Everyone else there, it seems like just basically on a questionnaire said like, yeah, fine. Sam is like into it.
Joey at some point tells his dad, he's like, I'm going up to 65.
Right.
He's like he just sounds like
dad
he would,
is like, okay.
Joey sounds like he would bang pretty much anybody if they're not retired.
Right.
And they're of legal age.
Yes.
That's Joey.
If you're retired, you're not for him.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird, honestly. Maybe you have too much time on your hands. He doesn't want you.
Yeah. He doesn't want anybody like hanging around too much. I don't know.
And Anthony picks Lynette.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty obvious why Anthony picks Lynette at this point, because he's frustrated with Kelly and he just doesn't want to pursue anything with her. But Anthony and Lynette are kind of adorable, honestly.
They're really cute.
They're really cute. I actually really like that combo.
They worked
It was
well.
good on screen.
They talk about...
Yeah.
Well, I like this red and green. We'll put a little white on you and make it
like a Christmas tree.
We'll make it Italian flag, yeah.
Oh, exactly. They have some like pretty good like emotional conversations while they're on their date. They cook together.
Anthony owns a pizza kitchen or a pizza restaurant, and he's like that Italian American chef dude, and he's like
some people put the sauce on the bottom and the cheese on the top, right? That's what you're used
like
to.
a traditional pizza for us.
We're gonna do it the opposite.
Really entertaining in the kitchen and stuff, and,
And he
he's a
makes-
real schmoozer, and it's really adorable, honestly.
He makes literally the nastiest looking pizza I've ever seen in my life.
Which I agree, and I'm gonna try and say here too that I'm just hoping that it was like they had to use pre-made crust or something. They couldn't get in the fresh ingredients, so he made do with what he had. I'm hoping that's the case because the pizza looked bad, unless it was like fake crust or something.
I don't know. He was
cauliflower.
telling her, he kept telling her, he's like, "This is how you do it to make crispy crust," and then he holds it up,
It's
and I'm
all
like,
limp.
"That dough is raw, sir.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what are you
Or something
doing?"
weird was going on
It was
there.
nasty.
Yeah, it was weird. They seemed to like it though.
So for this date, they stay at the house.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting choice because then Kelly decides that she will go in the hot tub with Joey, I think in an effort to make Joey's dad, Anthony, jealous.
Because Kelly is a drama queen.
Yeah. And then while they're walking through the kitchen, Kelly makes like one of the most uncomfortable and weirdest comments that I think that I've heard on the show, which is...
Don't worry, listen, I'll save you a little pizza, right?
Amazing.
Maybe.
Ooh la la.
If you behave
He
yourself.
won't be hungry after we hang out.
He won't be
Joey
hungry.
won't be hungry.
The does that mean?
I don't want to know. I kind of want to know, but I don't want to know.
Is the insinuation he will be eating her? Like, that is truly, I want to know.
Even the oral things aside, you're not going to be full afterwards. You know?
It's not food.
It's not food. But I think that's what she was kind of insinuating or something.
I guess.
Or I'm more than enough, more than a snack. I don't even know.
I don't know. And then when
know.
they're in the hot tub, she keeps telling.
Definitely conflicted kissing Joey, and it is so weird because my son's name is Joey, and they kind of look alike.
Oh, it's weird.
And then she makes out with him.
It's weird.
Yep.
It's so weird. Why is it happening?
Oh man.
It's really weird.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky we're not. You're lucky you're not watching this.
You're
if
lucky,
not,
yeah. You're
honestly.
lucky you're not. Normally we'd be like, go watch it.
I actually encourage with most of our shows to watch it along with because I
Don't
think you get a better
watch this.
experience. I think you don't want this experience.
You don't want this.
Yeah.
You really. I mean, maybe you do.
Maybe
if
you
you
do.
it exists.
We also don't know what your search terms are like.
So if this sounds good to you, it's on Peacock, right?
Honestly, like, don't let our judgment like impact you.
Yeah.
Do you?
The show is weird and uncomfortable.
Oh, and multiple times throughout these 2 episodes, Joey says,
Say, you know, you and I were to share a realty, right?
You want to share a Rilfie? Is that what he says?
Yeah, that's what he says to... They're using that kind of terminology now. That's what he says to Kelly. He's like, if we were to share a Rilfie.
Share a Rilfie like it's a sub sandwich?
Oh, terrible. It's truly... the show is terrible,
And
honestly.
Joey's not, honestly, like, I'm not trying to hate people, but Joey's not making it easier. I feel bad for him, though, because he got traumatized the episode before this.
Yeah, but then he's in with one of the people that was there during that, like, traumatization. He's in the hot tub, like, kind of trying to get with her, maybe to get back at Christina. It's kind of unclear.
It kind of feels that way, right?
Yeah.
There's almost like Kim and Kelly are making out because they're both trying to get back at their previous people.
Right.
And I was just remembering the hot tub, and I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it.
But Anthony and Lynette have a really great time. Anthony's unbothered.
Yeah.
He does not care that Kelly is going to the hot tub with his kid. Like, he really just...
He's like, have fun, son.
Whatever. Yeah. Because he's over Kelly. So at this point, he doesn't care what Kelly does.
Yeah.
And then then Lynette and Anthony actually do go to the Rilfie.
I feel comfortable being vulnerable with him because he's such an authentic, kind, considerate, like loving guy.
And spend the night.
Oh yeah, but you know, there's no black and white cam of thrusting sheets. They like talk and they kiss and they cuddle. Maybe they get down, maybe they don't. But it all seemed pretty adorable.
It was pretty tame, pretty
cute.
cute.
I'm happy for them. Whatever happens.
Yeah, me too. They actually seem like a really cute couple to me. And if this is how they met each other, then more power to them. I think they're adorable.
It's cute. I'd like to see them. I hope they continue like talking to each other throughout the rest of the show. And Lynette. Okay, well, here's the thing though. I almost said like Lynette seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders, but she went psycho with the Jamie shit.
She did.
I don't know. And then she's the one that said, I'm realizing this right now, she's the one that said that she did Jamie a favor.
Yeah.
By attacking her on screen and telling her to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. These people are all messed up. You got to be a little broken to be on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy she's happy.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's that thing of like I get deceived, not deceived, but I get in these moments where people are happy and they're enjoying each other's company where I'm like, oh, good for them. Right. And then I put it all together and I'm like, what?
So then every episode has to end on a cliffhanger because why would we come back if there wasn't a cliffhanger? And the cliffhanger for episode 4 is that Chris is apparently interested in Barbie.
If not, let her know that I'm interested. I like what I see so far from her, so please don't go making decisions just yet.
And Barbie has already been taken by British seductor
Jacob, British seductor.
And
oh yeah,
Barbie is essentially, they're talking to Chris. They're on a couch outside.
Well, it's obvious that I've have a little flirtatious thing with Jacob, right?
There's no kissing or hands or anything, but they're talking close.
They're clearly having a good time, and they're clearly talking. And poor Jacob, he has a football, and he
looks like this he has this all American look about him. He has an American football.
Yes.
Actually, that should be said.
Oh, that
I didn't even realize he's a Brit
Yeah.
holding an American. He's probably just like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
But he walks by holding the football like he's gonna toss it with somebody.
And then he sees them, and he's like so sad. Just immediately, his poor little spirit is broken.
His
and
poor little British soul.
He just walks back into the house with the football, dejected, no one to play with.
And that's the end.
So I suppose we'll see more of Jacob's supposed heartbreak. He and Barbie barely know each other, but apparently his heartbreak over Barbie having a conversation with someone else in the house, and we'll see that probably next episode.
I mean, he read the room well there though, so it's just a conversation. But there was definitely like flirting and like some eyes and stuff, some laughter.
It's just weird because like Barbie and Jacob went on one date, had like one kiss, and then now he seems quite possessive over like her and her time, which is strange.
And Barbie was very much saying to Chris that she's not locked down, basically.
Yeah, which makes sense. You barely know these people.
On a dating show too.
Right.
They're going to be put in a bunch of weird situations for people to like couple up right away. Even the fallout with Joey and Christina is almost for the best, because you don't want to be in a show like this dating somebody after 2 days. You know what I mean?
I think Joey and Christina will end up back together.
Yeah.
Mark my words. That's what I think will happen.
Yeah.
Because even though Christina does make out with poor little Sam on her date,
poor little Sam.
Sam has no game, and it's embarrassing. The
He's
stuff that he says to her on the date is embarrassing.
A star? Oh, there's some stars out. There's a couple of them out. We got 2 stars right here.
It is. Hope you're doing well, Sam.
Yeah. Hope life's going good for you, buddy. So yeah, are you watching the show? Are you enjoying this?
Were you also a little traumatized from episodes 3 and 4?
Especially episode 3. The whole implication of
the implication.
Because of the implication.
It's just not okay, and I don't like it.
It's not okay.
It's very uncomfortable.
And then we're gonna have like kithing? We're gonna have the kithing defenders come into the comments and say how normal and okay it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's gonna happen.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You're just burned because of the Ashley. We're doing
oh my god.
We're doing a review of her reaction to the Ashley Madison documentary, and the amount of people defending cheating on their partners is like,
it's fun.
It's a little rough.
Yeah.
It's a little rough in the comments over there.
How vehemently they defend it too is just like, whoa. We don't have kithing defenders yet, but I borderline expect it at some point.
I just don't. You go too far, your comment's gonna get deleted. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't go too far.
Don't go too far with it. Have a reasonability.
Right.
Honestly.
But yeah, we will probably go back to the reaction format for episode 5 because frankly, this is a lot. And I think watching it together, we have a little bit of a source of support there.
Yeah.
Versus doing the recap.
The recap is almost harder with this because it's
hard.
like the processing that I did while we were going through this and remembering everything that happened. I got sweaty and uncomfortable just talking about it.
Yeah, this show shouldn't exist. I don't know who thought of this show.
I'm mad.
I don't like the people who made this show. This show just shouldn't be something that's on TV. Yeah. And yet here it is.
Season 2.
Here it is.
Probably coming up with a season 3 at some point. I don't know.
Oh God. Okay, well, we'll see you next time for the next one. Thank you. Subscribe, give us a comment down below. What was the most traumatic part of this for you?
Share below. You've seen ours. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
And then I got it knocked, and I started going,
ridiculous.
Oh, that was a tearjerker.
Hey, we're gonna go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.